Local like no other. This is Fox 21 News at 9.
After a strong request by union leaders, Duluth nurses may be headed for a one-day strike. This afternoon, SMDC and St. Luke's nurse representatives met today outside the hospitals to highlight why they are urging for the strike vote. The main point, nurses want the ability to refuse a patient to their unit if they believe the unit is at capacity.
We hope that the hospital comes back to the table with us and that we can come back with this vote that says all the nurses are saying this, that this is what we want, this is what we need.
66% of nurses must vote no to the contract in order to approve a one-day strike. St. Luke's says their proposal to nurses exceeds current contract language and exceeds the proposal recently ratified by the Twin Cities nurses. SMDC representatives tell us they hope a compromise can be reached to avoid a strike.
Well, let's switch gears now.
Duluth nurses prepare to vote tomorrow on whether to accept a new contract offer, and 14 people are saved after their boats capsized this weekend on Rainy Lake. Your news starts now.
Live from the Northlands News Center, this is the KBJR 6 and Range 11 News at 10.
Duluth nurses will vote tomorrow on a new contract offer. Contract negotiations with SMDC and St. Luke's have reached an impasse, and nurses are being encouraged by their union leaders to reject the proposal and authorize a one-day strike. Nurses are asking for contract language that will allow them to temporarily close a unit for no more than 2 hours if they're stressed on resources. Nurses and hospital administration have been going back and forth on these issues since their contract expired in June. SMDC officials say they feel they have bargained in good faith and stand by their offer. St. Luke's says its final proposal exceeds the contract Twin Cities nurses ratified earlier this summer. Nurses, well, they say it's not true.
We know that they can do better, and we believe that patients really need more nurses so that they can be safely taken care of.
They have been trying, but there just isn't close enough. As when it comes to temporary unit closure, they want to say that we have to take the patient and then we'll figure out what to do. That's just not right.
The union needs at least 66% of their members to reject the contract to automatically authorize a strike. SMDC and St. Luke's say they are prepared to handle a strike if one should happen. The trial for a Two Harbors man accused of murdering a cook woman in her workplace has now been postponed.
Duluth nurses will vote tomorrow whether to call a one-day strike. And 25 years ago today, the Hormel strike began in Austin, pitting employees and families against each other.
Live from the WDIO broadcast studios, this is Eyewitness News at 10 on WDIO WIRT.
In about 8 hours, members of the Duluth Nurses Union will vote on whether to authorize a one-day strike. Many are unhappy with the latest contract offers from local hospitals. Reporter Katie Roosh spoke with union leaders who are recommending the nurses reject the offers.
What's this about? Patient care. What's this about? Patient care.
This was the scene at St. Mary's Hospital a little over a month ago. And if nurses vote down the current contracts on Wednesday, this informational picket will turn into a full-blown one-day strike.
Very disappointed that we have to get to this point. We were very hopeful, even up till the end, that it really could. We could work something out. Very disappointed. No one wants to go down this route.
Today, union members publicly declared their support for the strike, which would affect 1,300 Duluth area registered nurses. The union wants the contract to allow nurses to make decisions about the number of patients they can handle. Hospital officials say they are unwilling to grant this request because they don't want to give RNs a special privilege. Nurses say they don't want special treatment, just the ability to do their job safely.
I think nurses, are the ones, with the patient. They're giving you the medication. They're determining, making life and death decisions. So if I'm a patient in the hospital, I want the nurse to have that authority.
SMDC, which employs more than 2/3 of the RNs in the union, hopes nurses will vote no to the strike, despite the union's recommendation.
My hope, of course, is that we can avert a strike, and we've been doing everything we can to help that come true.
After the union rejected their final contract offer, St. Luke's released a statement saying they are prepared for any contingency and will continue to deliver high-quality, safe, and compassionate care to our community. Union nurses will be able to vote here at the Coppertop Church all day tomorrow. If 2/3 of the voting nurses reject the current contract, a one-day strike will be authorized. In Duluth, Katie Roosh, Eyewitness News.
Now, if the nurses approve the strike, they must give hospitals 10 days' notice before they walk off the job. 25 years ago today, 1,400 meatpackers at the Hormel plant in Austin, Minnesota, walked off the job. The infamous year-long strike drew national attention, and it changed an entire community.